Hey there, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining me today to share your story with us.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, Dr. Evan. I really appreciate that.
So let's go back to before you started working with us. What was your energy like? Let's look at it on a scale from like 1 to 10, with 10 being ideal energy. Where was it?
Okay, you can see me pulling a face because actually I kind of don't like going back there. It was kind of like that feeling, sinking feeling when you're circling the plug hole and everything's going down and it's just getting worse all the time. So it's that downward spiral. And so if I was really optimistic, I'd say about a 2. Probably realistically, or yeah.
Not a good place
Not
to
good.
be. Yeah.
No, if we can move out of there, it would be really good.
Let's go very quickly out of there. All right, let's go to
Yay!
now. So where would you say your energy is out of 10 now?
Oh, look, a good solid 7 or 8, possibly more. On good days, it's about a 9. I can do so much more than I used to do. And like being a nice person again and not being a grumpy old lady who is just struggling to survive every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So being a nice person, what sort of other things can you do? Is there like more exercise or travel or movement, or what sort of things can you do?
There is so much more that I'm doing. I mean, I have a life. I can go outside the house. I can have people over to stay and laugh with them and dance again. I'm working again.
So when you were like looking to join our program, what sort of questions did you have that eventually got answered for you?
This is a really interesting one. Normally, I would have had a lot of questions, but I listened to you on an interview you did with Wendy Meyer,
Hmm.
and you talked about your 4-step process. And as soon as you talked about the 4-step process of identifying the causes, let's go back. Yeah, identifying the causes, and the causes were not simple. Because if it was a simple problem, hey, I'm intelligent, I would have solved it. Then looking after the body, so building up the body so the body actually has the energy to work for the next step. Then opening the detox channels. Now that one really resonated with me. And as soon as you said, this is an important step, that's what sold me on everything. I thought, yeah, that's what's missing from what everyone else has done before. And then removing the toxicities.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah, I'm glad that that resonated for you, because that step 3 is one that people aren't doing enough of. And that's why people are feeling worse, unfortunately, when they're going through processes like this, getting rid of all the toxins out of their bodies. So our program is not inexpensive. It is definitely an investment of time, of money, of energy. Was it worth it?
undoubtedly, yes. I was really pleased that I joined. I think I was probably one of the very first people to join when you actually set the program up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just paid straight away. It was like, no. I spent years with other doctors, other specialists, and their approach has been always, this is your one cause, and we're going to kill it. So that alone makes it worthwhile, because it actually treated me as a whole person. It treated the disparate symptoms I had as actually being quite acceptable and part of a whole issue that we could treat all together. The other thing was the absolute supportive community and supportive atmosphere that's created. it has to be one of the most healing communities I've ever belonged to. And yeah, no, thank you very much for creating it. And the support with the other issues that are so often forgotten, mindset, meditation, nervous system, calming that down, are absolutely invaluable for moving forward, along with the more traditional things that people expect, like taking supplements, doing regimes, and dietary changes, lifestyle changes.
Mhm.
So yeah. No.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think the community is such a big part of this. And some people would say, well, we've got different tiers of programs, and there are some programs that don't have one-on-ones with me or one-on-ones with other practitioners. What do you think about that? Because I don't think you've had any one-on-ones with practitioners in our program. How was it in the group environment for you to go through this process, have the direction that you need, along with like the workbook and the videos and all that?
Yes, I haven't had one-on-one with anyone. I think I would have done it differently if I joined now. At the time, some of the one-on-ones weren't an option.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it was I didn't have the option at the time I joined. So yeah, no, the book is fantastic. The workbook is absolutely amazing. And what I really appreciate is the time and effort you go into continuing to improve it. It's not something static. It's a living, growing program that really works on improving the way it's offered, and the support that's given to people.
Brilliant. So even without the one-on-ones, you still had success in the program, and that was because you felt like you could work through the workbook, and then you had me for questions. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Absolutely. And yeah, hell yeah, I got through it. And that's what I'm loving about it, is that I am functioning at a high level. I am doing a lot of brain work that brain fog just stopped me doing completely.
Mhm.
So, I'm on a government committee. I'm doing various specialist trainings to do coaching, all things that 2 years ago I wouldn't have had a chance of doing.
Mhm.
Some days I had difficulty remembering my own name. And true story, I actually a few years back, I introduced my husband by the wrong name. That's brain fog.
That's brain fog for sure.
That's,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So the other thing I wanted to ask you too is that you have been on more of the sensitive side, multiple chemical sensitivity, mast cell activation syndrome. So there have been some challenges with Andrew in New Zealand.
yes,
So there have been some people will say, well, I can't do this program because I'm too sensitive to supplements. So what would you say to them?
I think it's going to be a slower journey, but then whatever journey you take, it will be slower. But the way the program is presented, it's presented in a way that's kind and holistic and actually listens to the body, your body, and listens to you. And it will adapt itself around your needs. So there are plenty of tools that can be used. Swaying tests, nervous system groups you can go to start learning how to calm your nervous system so it doesn't react so violently. Just reconnecting with joy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it will definitely work. It'll definitely get you on the right path. It just may not be as fast as someone who doesn't have sensitivities.
Right. And even supplements, I obviously know a lot of different supplements, and
Mm.
sometimes we are putting them on topically. tinctures on topically instead of orally, and then we're not taking them every day, we're spacing them out. So we have lots of experience that we use in order to help people who are more sensitive. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And then there are things like with opening the detox pathways, saunas, hot baths, foot baths, lymphatic massages, a whole host of different techniques that can be used that will really, really help the body without aggravating sensitivities.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe that this program in part is so good because you can get your questions answered in the online community on a daily basis, and also face to face with me and our other practitioners who run the group programs. How important was that for you to be able to have that kind of accessibility on a regular basis?
It was very important. One of the second reason I knew that I was going to take this course was when I joined your Facebook group. It was a supportive group where questions were actually being answered. It was very, very clear that you cared and you provided a lot of absolutely excellent short videos. I think I watched every single one of short videos. Now, they're not in an easy accessible place on the Facebook page anymore, but they're on your website. And you've all now got an excellent array of podcasts and things. So the amount of information you share on that, and then even more when we go into the program, and the support with the other people, where I can pose a question and I get the experiences from the people who are going through it all, feedback, and the love and support. That really means a lot. Being in a good environment, it's a very positive place, very supportive, and it just keeps getting better.
Thank you. The last thing I think I'll ask you is about loneliness. So being ill can be very lonely. And you've kind of mentioned this a few times in terms of the community, and you talked about kind of some of the love in the community. How has being in the community decreased your loneliness? Because I believe you live alone.
Yep.
And we're in the pandemic right now, and so people are even lonelier. Has this community helped to play a role in alleviating some of your loneliness, if you had any?
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, it was a very lonely place before. Yes, I am alone. It was just me and the house, the cat, and not a lot else, because I really didn't feel I could interact with people. I didn't feel confident enough to have people around because they just use up too much energy quickly. So to be able to be in that safe space where it is a community, to be able to have the questions and answers with you, where I can hear other people's experiences and share my own, the gratitude, which is absolutely amazing. It keeps me thinking, reminding me that actually there's a lot to be grateful for. The wonderful nervous system calls that we have as well, where it's such a healing, nice space. And then just all of the other people I'm with. It's a very, very nice environment, and I don't feel alone. And yeah, no, it's really helped.
I'm so glad that we've played a small part in your life here and on your healing journey.
Oh, absolutely. And, as thank you from me as well, because I am where I am now because of being part of the program and working through the workbook. So many thanks to you too.
You're so welcome. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. Really appreciate you sharing your story with us today. Is it all right if we use this information, this video, in our marketing materials?
I will, yeah, I'm hyperventilating on the inside, but on the outside, I'm looking calm and confident. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.